Coach Crum, and we're gonna go over some motions. So this is our motion breakdown video. So the first thing we wanna go over is the difference between fists and clean. Okay, so I have my helper Maya here. She's gonna show you fists. All right, so what do fists look like? All right, so when we do a lot of motions, it's gonna be the big donut hole out. This is little donut hole. Most motions, it will be this way. Okay, and then so if you are clean in fists, what does that look like? Okay, so tight to your side, clean in fists. Now show me clean in blades. So blades is just open hands, okay? We don't do a ton of motions in blades, but you will see that in this video. So our first motion, one of our most common motions we do is a high V. All right, so if you were in front of a clock, you are at a 10 and a 2. Okay, so show me 9 and 3. Yep, so then 10 and 2. Okay, all right, so her motions are not forward and they're not behind her, okay? They're right in line. So if she had a glass panel on both sides, she would not be touching it. All right, so that is a high V. Notice that her big donut holes are facing out forward. All right, and now low V. So it's just a V, but down low. All right, so down here we are at a, what, 4 and 7? Yes, 4 and 7?
I think so.
Yes, okay. And then show me a half high V. So half high V, there we go. All right, so anytime something's like a half high V or a half low V, the other hand is usually on hip. Okay, so that is also one of our most common motions, so go to full hips. All right, so in hips, notice that her elbows are in line with her body and they're not like back like a chicken and they're not like awkwardly forward, okay? They're right in line with her body. Show me on hips in blades. Barbie hands, okay? So your thumb will be behind, okay? We don't do this very often. She didn't know we were about to do this either, okay? So we don't do this very often, but sometimes you will see that, okay? But most of the time when we're on hips, we're gonna be in fists. All right, so a T, which you kind of already saw, that's a 9 and 3. All right, so she is perfectly in line going across. A half T, she'll just bend at the elbows, and that's half a T, even though it still looks like a full T. All right, so show me that high V again. All right, she's going to drop into the right diag, so she'll drop her left arm, that side. Yep, so that is a diag, short for diagonal, okay, and you can do them on both sides, so she'll switch, all right, which you'll see that motion quite a bit, but it is just half a high V and half a low V. All right, moving on to clap. So when you clap, there's a certain placement. So there's 4 corners, shoulders, and your elbows, all right? So she has it right in the middle of that, okay? And it's not too high in front of her face, okay? It's right where we need it to be, and her elbows are not wide. They are tight into her sides. That's where you want your claps. You want to push your hands together, okay? You should be making very loud, audible claps. Moving on to fight motion. This is another really common motion, all right? So she has her arms straight up. Notice that is the little donut hole, okay? This is one of the most common motions you'll see that has that, and the other is on hip. This is a fight motion, typically done with the right arm up and left arm on hip. All right, so going into touchdown motion. Okay, so this is a full touchdown motion in fists. Sometimes you'll see it in blades, so that's just open hand. Okay, transitioning from that touchdown motion, we're gonna go to a field goal motion. All right, so field goal will be open hands, and then a strong arm motion is in fists. Okay, but you're not like flexing and bringing your arms in, you're keeping them wide like a 90-degree angle. All right, looking at buckets. All right, so buckets, you hold buckets like this. The front of your knuckles is going to be pointing forward. Candlesticks, she just turns it so big donut holes are facing up and they're coming straight out of her shoulders and they are parallel to the ground. All right, let's go to a high V. Okay, she's going to drop her right arm down for a K motion. All right, so notice that this arm stayed where it, in that high V position. This one just dropped across her chest to form the letter K. All right, let's go to a fight motion and then hit an L. Okay, so we always do letters so the crowd is reading it left to right. So when you do an L, your right arm is always in that fight motion and your left is in that T. Show me an H. It's just a touchdown motion, but it's our H, and an S. So she's gonna bring her left arm across so the top of her hand is facing out across her belly, and then her right arm is up, and this is the only time you just see full knuckles right here, okay? And that makes our S. Another letter that we do is a W. You'll see that in the Power Rangers dance, okay? So here's 90 degree, she just bends it up to about 45, okay? And then let's go to a rocket ship. Okay, so rocket ship is just straight up, looks like a rocket ship. We usually go there from a clap, so come down to clap, and then we shoot up to a rocket ship. All right, her arms are tight to her head and arms locked and fingers together. Can we turn to the side in a clap? Okay, so in a clap, what we don't want to see is this. Okay, we don't want to see like just pinkies, all right, and we don't want to see this, all right? You need to have your fingers squeezed together and hands even. All right, now we're going into some footwork. So first we're going to start off with a lunge. So this lunge is in the party rock dance. This is the way we'll always do a lunge with that left leg bent and that right leg straight. So notice that the right knee is pointing forward and the right foot is also pointing forward, but the left knee is pointing to the side and the foot is pointing to the side, but the hips are square forward. Your knees need to be pointing in that right direction. Same with your feet. They have to be pointing in that specific spot. Otherwise you will hurt your knees. All right, let's go to the hay lunge or hay squat. Okay, so this hay squat is a little funky. All right, so your right knee is pointing forward and you are bent low. Your left leg, her heel will be very lifted. Okay, so her left leg, knees pointing to the side, toes pointing to the side, but it's lifted up really high. You don't hold this for a really long time, okay, but this is the position you should be hitting. All right, let's go to clean. All right, so she went straight to clean and fists. That's more normal than cleaning in blades. Okay, right now we're gonna go over the pivot that you'll see in the Seven Nation Army dance and our fight song and a few other dances we may do. Okay, so to pivot, she's gonna step forward with her right, and it's not gonna be a big step. Then she's going to pivot, turning, not moving her left foot, step again with her right, pivot one more time around, and step together. Okay, notice when she turned, her arms stayed clean to her sides. Anytime you're doing a pivot, you want your arms clean to your sides and not swinging out and around. And yeah, I think that is all of our, oh, do you know what we missed? I do. We missed daggers. Okay, daggers is a very important motion, okay? So this is another little donut hole facing forward, okay? And they are tight in to her sides, and she's not doing like a weird little wrist thing, okay? She has her wrists in line with her elbows that are tight in. We do hit this motion a lot, so make sure you have that in the right spot and it's not out and doing something weird like that, okay? Tight and in. All right, I think that about does it.